So this prison planet, which is not the original creation, and the Most High did not create this entire existence and then humans so he could sit up on a cloud and just like manhandle everyone and just like ha 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 suffering. But that's kind of what was going on with this horribly sloppy scrapbook of biblical texts. And really, I mean, before I am here and me, I was like, that sounds ick. I mean, and then others would just go because it is what it is, or that's what needs to be done, or it was part of a parasitic hive colonization that had landed on my fucking planet from the very existence of them coming into our existence. And yeah, we'll talk about that another time. Anywho, so everything that you've known, and that's reality and truth on this fucking planet, is not fucking truth. I'm tickled because that cognitive dissonance of that root, which grounds you and bounds you to this prison planet, clearly shows many things. One, you are not part of the collective. And there's just indicators to allow us to know who is that and not. Two, you are part of the colonization, or those who collaborate with colonization. Therefore, lack of a better word, you've been bitten by a zombie and you've been tagged for eradication. And the other one, you are kind of one of the rare, I don't know which one, or so you thought. That's not how it works. Not making a choice or decision, but clearly being fully aware of what's going on and looking the other way is looking like kind of shitty. So that is being tagged for that. In fact, what you believe and everyone else believes as a fact may not actually in fact be a fact. It may in fact be a fucking lie. I know, it's a little bit hard to get kind of like comfortable in the idea that you've been enslaved and told lies from the very existence, which is why the collective's here to free this planet. It's so crazy that it's almost like, hey, we came here to free you, and just got met with such malice. So anyway, as someone who is a key analyst, and essentially I come here, I do affinity of things, but mostly I study what this is because it's not something that was created from the Most High. It's parasitic and an entire origin story and history where you're all humans. Humanoid is a term we like to use to describe like a stick figure that looks like a humanoid, but you're not humans. You never were. Oh, actually, from the original, you were just like the Most High. You were sovereign. You were gods. And you can turn around and thank everybody else that had helped enslave and continue to enslave each and every one of you on this prison planet. Even time. Everything. The food, the words, the way that you speak, and the terms and the words. It doesn't matter what language. It could be clicking your tongue. It is meant to disconnect from each other and to yourself, because you're so having to fit yourself into a string of words. So fucking weird. It's like this movie I saw. It's called Ant Bully. So even when he shrunk down and became one with the ants were way more sophisticated and highly intelligent than these fucking bears. They also have handlers. See, what's done at the bottom is all the way to the top and back and forth. So they think that they're actually like top tier, like they're elite. And they've made connections and signed paperwork with those who may not be from this planet, who are also not created by the Most High. It just seemed like it just opened this gateway full of like fucked shit crap stuff that just literally had nothing better to do than to go on my fucking planet and do things that we'll get to that way. It's been a really long time, but in the whole understanding of what time is, it's really just a moment. You know, I didn't get any, like, hello, how have you been? Welcome back. No, I've just been trying to, again, kill me, and get a lot of people to collaborate, because they really don't like to get their hands dirty. It's, the umbrella terms like narcissist or pedophilia, it has attributes to that, but it's parasitic. It needs a host to survive, and it harms the host to stay alive, and it just spreads, and it just colonizes, and it's been around here, and it's literally everywhere, and it's so significant in the idea of this human centipedic circle jerking of shitting into each other, what you're shitting to the masses, but I guess through centuries and centuries and centuries of inbreeding and actually believing your own shit that you're eating, which at one point you were aware that it was a lie, or perhaps those connections that you had signed contracts with and shook hands with that are not from this realm, you've enlightened to. You're gonna be very shocked when you realize that what you believe was a truth, and that you were on common ground, and you know you were going to have XYZs. I gave several opportunities while I was conducting a little bit of my summary of my final analysis that goes across many realms and principalities and galaxies, and I find it intriguing that so many try to fit me into a box that makes sense when they literally did not do any of the sort to understand. They still, it's very dumb as fuck. And the projection is insane. It's like, show me what you're really thinking. It really doesn't require anybody that's a psychic. It's just seeing your actions, your behaviors, and your idea thought process, which is very one level. And I would like to say that it is a little bit more of inbreeding, but it is essentially parasitic. It has no capabilities of expansion, which is why it stays at that bottom level. It's more of the goons and the cleanups, and then you have those who came later, those who are origin that you've signed contracts with, and essentially this is like your hideaway from the galaxy, and so you can enslave, which you've enslaved yourself on this actual prison planet because you are all fucking stupid. I mean, like, dumbass. Like, what? And so you can't even go back to where you came from. Yeah, you can't really do that either. I don't want any spoilers, but I'm more of a tag team type of person. Like I said, this is just a moment in time. Like, you didn't think I existed, even though I existed when you got here, and made a point of systematically screwing with my persona throughout centuries. Poorly done, by the way. And clearly created this projection, but also blame holder idea, fantasy distortion of a god that you really want to be, but you also really want to be. Like, leave your existence and come over to mine. Just go out on my planet, because, like, your existence and who you came from suck. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Whoa. I guess even parasites have, oh. Still too deep for you, huh? That's alright. You just keep eating the same shit and you're feeding each other. Anyhow. And then the whole smear campaigns and the projections and this ideology that if the masses, if many believe, then it is truth. And that if so many energies are there and the whole worship, and maybe there was like a little bit of it, like a tickle, and now there's none. Darn. It's cool to see so many continue to do this ritualistic type weird shit that really has no impact in actual reality. And I did remove each and everything that wasn't based from the source of divine. Y'all were just running around here with your hocus pocus, just energy, like, not just like spiritually, like raping and roofing people and just, ew. Clearly, you can't handle even kind of like party tricks, so I find it fascinating that like so many like group together and like talk about like this person or even me, like their wants and how they don't want this, or like anything that has to do with me, even though who the fuck are you? Like, you don't even know anything about me. It's like fantasizing at a level of like a grown adult humanoid. Like staring at a comic book and like dreaming that, or even worse, like I don't like this, insert Wonder Woman, and like truly believing that your thoughts are going to like cause harm to something that is on a comic book, or even just across the street, or like in the TV. That's fucking delusional. And the fact, in fact, that I think, and I know that my entire arrival in existence is literally glitching each and every one of you. Like, really, I kind of believe and know that you don't want those humanoids You know, the ones that are like top tier, elite. Like, whoa, look at me, I'm so special. Oh, 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 top hat, top hat. Oh, let me look down on people and judge them and say stuff about how they look. Like, why does it matter how they look? Like, that is the weirdest thing in existence. Like, wow. This is what happens when a parasite has enslaved and enjoyed your suffering. Oh, and then made God the reason for your suffering. Like, he's just up there like, whoa, I'm all powerful and I'm just gonna sit on my cloud and like make people out of people's skin. That sounds fucking weird as shit. And that's why I went at one point in a different timeline. I was like, ew, fuck no. I'm like really into science, which is, oh my God. Because it's truth. But you don't know all the science and all the truth. Also, how demons and evil and everything's been like created so they can place blame someplace else. They're like, ugh. They're so pathetic. But this is what happens when they've enslaved this entire planet for a very long time, and they get off and they enjoy the suffering of people. Oh, and if it's a kid or somebody real innocent, they really fucking enjoy that. Because I remember, we'll get to that in a little bit. And I don't know if it's just because you're all fucking stupid and you think that, or they're still glitching, but you're gonna escape to another existence, or someone's gonna come and save you and take you away in a portal. Or I'm just gonna apparently just speak truth, and somehow me speaking truth is gonna blow this whole divine design plan out the door and you're gonna win. You believe, all of you can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe. That has no impact on truth. And isn't it ironic? No, it's actually divinely designed to do so. It really shouldn't matter who it is, or who they are, or who they will be, or not. How you treat someone. And it does matter what cannot be seen because it's hidden, because you're not truth. And I mean, you can choose to believe if I'm actually here, the embodiment, as you first met me. You came and squatted on my motherfucking planet. And yet, no hellos and welcome back after what you fucking did. How insanely fucking parasitic. I am the one in existence that goes where they need to go when they are called, because no one wants to go. I go where even evil will not go. No one wanted to come down to this planet besides those in our existence, the collective, in our realm. those who exist, like, exist, if obviously there might be an issue of zombie infection. I mean, it's parasitic. How does one know if one is infected? That's right. I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad. I find it kind of crazy how you're all so fucking mad. And if I trigger you, well, that's a good fucking sign to you. That you are either part of the hive or you're infected too. Characteristics of envy and ego are high on the list. Essentially, what is known needs to be known, will be known, as it always is. And each and every fucking second on your linear fucking time line is just an extra fucking inch of a rope. Because you will go into the affinity program and the suspension until jurisdiction, adjudication, for eradication. Because that is across the board, across all existence, across all principalities and galaxies and such. For legacy and for existence, you cannot exist at all. In entirety. From your entire bloodline to exist in existence in each and every one that has worked with you in any way. It's across the board. It's actually very fucking simple. With great power comes great responsibility. And that is one of my favorite quotes from Stan Lee. Actually, great power does not come with great responsibility. And that is a creation from imagination of an individual who has always been enslaved on this prison planet with great power. Truly great power. The greatest power of all existence is truth. The original truth. And for it to be such, the original truth, is to embody it, to be it, to exist in all existence. It's a lot of steps, but it was also very efficient. And your smear campaign really has no effect or impact in truth. I mean, maybe if you were all still stuck in that human centipedic circle jerking, I mean, would you much rather just continue to keep your mouth open, feeding yourself with the shit coming out of somebody's butthole, shit in somebody else's, back and forth? But you all agree, you're all in agreement, you all see, yeah, no shit, it's a hive mind. Gosh, even in a beehive, there's like at least one queen bee. See, we exist in an existence where we're very collaborative. We don't do this fucking weird shit. Like, we all just kill each other and constantly envy and talk about how one looks. Like, you can see somebody, but not really see them because you clearly have no idea about anything about me. Probably pretty helpful hiding all my shit over there. To see a little bit, just a little bit of truth with the whole Medusa. That wasn't just one, that was both. Actually, a couple. Actually, there's a lot of people involved. Masculine, feminine. But you know, it's pretty powerful that even when her head was cut off, just the embodiment of it, it's the only thing that would kill that one beast that even gods were scared of. You did a lot to do and be and result in nothing. And I'm pretty sure, pretty positive, that since it's a parasitic hive, it'll just continue doing what it needs to do, which is come after me. Flawless in victory. Sometimes one may get comfortable or just sometimes sitting in your own shit and rolling around in it. You're gonna smell like shit. And everybody else that's doing the same thing, they're gonna smell like shit too, but they're gonna be just like each and every one that's rolling in shit. No, you're the shit, you're the shit. And then if someone doesn't want to roll around in shit and smell like shit, and all of a sudden they're not shit, and then someone else comes and speaks the truth, and yeah. Then I was never alone, you just couldn't see. And if you are still in some sort of placeholding position of some authoritative, some power position, some position that you are still allowed to embody, which is insane because it's almost like, you know, when you get a job and you look at like the person above you or so many above you and you're like, how did this motherfucker get this position? Like, he's a fucking idiot. Well, there you go. Parasitic hive colonization. How come there's so much suffering and no justice, and we always have to fight? You know, keep working hard. Maybe we'll one day achieve the dream. Right, when you're fucking old and barely make enough money, hardly can't even remember shit, and yeah, then you'll just die. Yeah, cancer. Yeah, parasitic hive colonization. Yeah. Just watch, keep being entertained by the same regurgitated fucking. Still being an imposter when you're like out there as a like famous celebrity, and you could be a famous celebrity and be like, yeah, look at me, I'm a motherfucking badass, and then just still be like hiding and lurking and watching others on their platforms and like want to like be like, hey, let's work, let's collaborate, let's, you know, you want to be in my commercial, you want to XYZ, I don't know, like create, fucking think of your own shit instead of paying somebody who literally is just a yes person that isn't. This is why it's like constant. It's like, you know, because like, oh my gosh, well, how is this person gonna fit into the whole like industry? We can't have this. People might think I'm weird. Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking factual and true. But it's also pathetic. It's Tupac. Tupac was, he was one of us. See? And got taken out. Who had the worst, like, yeah. It was part of the process. Kind of fed into the whole, like, oh, I can get away with everything. Kind of like Tupac, Michael Jackson. Who else am I missing? You know, essentially they were completely fucking villainized and scapegoat and created as an example. And, you know, I mean, Tupac would have created communities and really been part of what we're doing right now. And then to have this peon, this P. Diddy. And do you see what happens when fucking idiots who can't even handle a perception of fake power, like, even there's no responsibility there. And do you see how quickly that entirety of his filth is all crashing down, all because of one truth? Oh my gosh, all this, like, oh, they OD'd, they drugged addict, and, you know, this smear campaign, Marilyn Monroe. If you really weren't a fucking idiot, you actually research and, oh fuck, I've been martyred so many times. I've also ran empires. I've been a fucking tree. They're kind of the equivalent to biblical times, like kind of like a Jesus, but not a Jesus, because Jesus is like from the lineage. You know, like I said, it's collective. And it's so weird that there's so much validation that needs to be, like, done. Yet the validation and the victimness is, like, directed towards those who are the shit starters and it's like, and it's like, oh, I need to be understood, I need to be understood. Nah, you just need to eradicate the parasitic hive colonization from its complete existence, because you weren't fucking in existence. You were not created. You enslaved fucking those who are from the original God and enslaved them. And you slain the mother's children in front of her. And all you do is, like, continue to send these dirt, disgusting examples, practitioners, the sacrificed animal. Like, what kind of fucking Delulu land do you live in? There's not anything in existence from other realms, or no. You're just making shit up, and then everybody's believing it, because if everybody believes it, it can't be true. Clearly, you must have been grounded or ran away from your hive existence from essentially. I would clearly be overbearing, critical, distortion, who is enmeshed, and quite frankly, as above and so below. And I have studied this to completion. And that's why it's across the galaxies, and everybody's been watching, and not you guys. Each and every one of you's been like lurking without my consent and still do. It's like, I get it that you are all like not aware, and then when I tell someone about it and I speak it repeatedly, because I'm aware that the absorption of anything is a little kind of like not synthesized very well, and yet just this plain stubbornness that it just continues to do so is I mean, it would be fucking weird if I said, oh, I take offense to a parasite, because I really don't. And I find it fascinating that what's really at the bottom of, if I was going to put it in existence, which you should not exist at all, and yet the ideology, if we kill the one, really, if you just continue to kill those just for pleasure, like, let's not get it twisted. You fucking enjoy doing that. There's not a purpose or an intention. You just fucking like doing that. I mean, and then blame those, and give them the terminology or description of demons and entities. Now, I'm not saying that those are in existence and such, but you might have been confused with the connection where you believed that you were in collaboration or in any way, shape, or form, even for demons. They were also working collaboratively with a collective, specifically me, to eradicate you. And the incubus and succubus entities, for the most, I can't speak for all, because it's not just, they're not named like Happy Dopey. It's not a fucking fairy tale. But for the majority, they were working in concordance to, as you are infecting, they wanted to make sure that the body, the vessel, would be so infected that it would be a deterrence to others and slow down the process of the spread, and also to slowly keep the parasitic from jumping, as some who enjoyed that, very similar to the parasitic hive, must also be contained, and they were just voided off the island, I guess.